Yo, it's MOPOWERZ, and we are BACKAGAIN on another fantastic, terrific Thursday night. And if this is your first time watching the MOPOWERZ, I ask that you share the information with relatives, friends, co-workers, anyone that you come into contact with. It is a magnificent way to jumpstart your conversation. And today's conversation, you all, before we get started, this live here, as I promised you all, we're going to be doing 2 to 3 lives a week. 2 to 3 lives a week. And if this is your first time watching the MOPOWERZ, I ask that you share the information with relatives, friends, co-workers, anyone that you come to contact with. It is a magnificent way, let me loosen that up, to jumpstart your conversation. Yeah, I was looking for my other sunglasses, and I had to have sunglasses on right now because my vision is hurting right now. On the real, my vision is hurting. But like I said, share this video. Share this video with your relatives, friends, co-workers, anyone that you come to contact with. Make this video go viral, you all. And speaking of viral, has anyone ever heard of Ella France? Ella France is the former, or shall I say, deceased police officer who was part of the Chicago Police Department. She has been shot and killed dead over a traffic stop. Over a traffic stop. And you know what? You have some YouTubers that are out there that say that they feel that no women should be a part of the field, but women wanted equality. And besides, have you ever ran up on a woman police officer in the city of Chicago? Really? Have you? I'm just saying. I'm sure that they are no different than running up on a female police officer in New York. I've stayed in New York. That's why I'm able to have or say this statement that I'm saying. Yeah, and women police officers be just as bogus as men. In fact about it, female police officers are likely to allow wrongdoing occur with a potential suspect by her partner. I'm going to say that again. A female police officer is more likely to allow unjust and harassment upon a suspect by her partner if he's a male. If he's a male. Two police officers that are female and they stop you, it's a whole different ball game. But when you run up on Big Corn John and Slugger Lou Lenny over there, yeah, that's totally different ball game too. But Ella France, who stopped these young men by the name of Imonte and Eric Morgan, yes, two brothers, young brothers, had expired plates on their car. Ella France and her partner stopped them on 63rd and Bell on the south side of Chicago, which is 2 blocks away from Western. Yes. West of Western and 1 block east of Levitt. On 63rd, on the south side of Chicago. And made the wrong stop. For some expired plates. As I stated, some big YouTubers talk about how females are not supposed to be in the field. Well, they ask for equal justice. He say that they shouldn't be a part of military field. Nah, they should. This is what they asked for. When you are a police officer, you ask for certain things that may happen to you. Like, for example, getting shot, getting killed, being abusive to your wife and to your children because of power. And that comes later down the line. Later down the line. And by the way, let me type something in the house here. MOPOWERZ in the building. Did I get that right? Yeah, I have a vision on my eyeballs right now. But anyway, getting back to the police. Ella France, when she stopped these two young men and her partner, they did not expect what they got. They got death and in the hospital. Could this be because of prior police stops, prior police shootings, prior police death of unarmed black men and women? Could it just be that? Could it just be that when the police turn their cherries on you, that you know that you're doomed, especially if you're black? Think about that. How many black people out there right now have a heart rate of 2,000 when the police turn their cherries on you? And I want you to ask that same question to a Caucasian. Whether he be a male, most males are drunk. Caucasians. But they're not too much worried. I've even seen video footage where the white guy had a gun in Texas. And you two should have seen it because it's all over social media. But the white civilian, the white man, the Caucasian, had the gun. Got stopped by Texas police. Got stopped by Texas police, showed the gun, made a statement, a code to the police officer, to both of them, because there were two of them. And those two police officers did not pull their trigger. They did not pull their trigger. I'm just saying. Now, these two brothers, Eric and DeMonte, after shooting and killing the police officer Ella France, well, one of the brothers was shot and taken to the hospital where he was apprehended and cuffed to the bed, of course. Whereas the other one returned to the scene of the crime to retrieve the gun that shot and killed Ella France. How stupid can you be? How stupid can you be? Had he not went back for the gun, he would not have been apprehended, because it was civilians who actually caught him. Honorary citizens here in Chicago that caught him. You see? And then there's another third party in this whole conspiracy. And his name is Jamal Dance, Daltz. Anyway, he is the purchaser and supplier of the firearm that was used to shoot and kill police officer Ella France. And Chief Brown, superintendent of the Chicago Police Department, blames the court system for releasing him on a $4,500 bond. The other two brothers, Imonte and Eric, are currently held without bail. But the individual who supplied the gun and then produced the gun does not pay. What do you think? Do you think that the person who purchased and supplied the gun should be responsible for the actions of a third party who purchased the gun? This is called straw purchasing. When you straw purchase a gun or a firearm, as people would say, what do? You're not held responsible for what the other individual does. I'm just saying. So if you didn't know, now you know what a straw purchase is in regards to a firearm. In the streets, it is what it is. Depending upon the level of undergroundness where you at, it may be called a different thing. I'm just saying. But needless to say, Ella France, when she stopped these young men, they had no second thoughts. They had no second thoughts. Why? Because the police have been known to do what? Shoot and kill black men, whether they are female, whether they are male, and most of the time they have been white. You may have had some difference in the shootings in regards to that took place in Milwaukee, Wisconsin at Mayfair Mall when the black officer shot and killed a young black man. Or another event, whereas that took place south, and you had the other black male officer shooting directly inside of a windshield of a victim who was unarmed and was not a threat to them. This is all over social media. All over social media. However, social media wants to make it a big thing when law enforcement is killed by a culprit, of course. Yet and still, you have police officers who are culprits, who are lawbreakers, shoot unarmed black men and women and get away with it. You want justice for one, but not justice for the other. So you value one life of one person versus the other of another person. That's not a democracy. That is not a democracy. That is not a justful way of living. Right now, you have shootings all across the nation. All across the nation. And Chicago, aka Chirac, is the murder capital right now. Sadly, but true. And this tragedies or having a mother cry over the burial of her son or her daughter because of police officers. I'm not saying that you don't have, excuse me, good police officers. You do, but bad ones just outweigh them. And those that are good, they really don't speak about the bad ones. You never bash the blue badge or blue color if you're a cop. You know, they say that Black lives matter, all lives matter. All lives matter. All lives matter. However, when you are authorized to carry a gun and a shield that you can hide your promiscuous acts under, or shield them under, yeah, you can get away with a lot of evil acts. And sadly, this is what is occurring not only in Chicago, but around the nation. People have been fed up with the injustices of police officers shooting men and women that are of melanated skin. Sadly, this is true. That's not up for debate. Just check the statistics. And you too can agree that what I'm saying is true. Did that post you all? Yeah, it did post. So if you're out there, as I stated earlier, by all means check, press the subscribe button. Press the subscribe button. But Chicago is on fire. Now for all of those young guys that are out there who are making money in the streets, they can't make money in the streets on 63rd and Bell right now. Not anywhere on the streets of Chicago, nowhere in the vicinity, because of just what took place. And sadly, black people have to live that way. Even Caucasians live that way. White people live that way. They too have their dirt that goes on, but not necessarily in the street like melanated people have going on. Speaking of Chicago and all of the deaths and wrongful deaths and injustices that have been taking place, I do want to send my condolences out to that police officer in Chicago here, Ella France. But then again, I don't. I don't. I don't. Because she knew what she was getting herself into. She knew the wrong that police officers have done to civilians. When police officers stop a black person, they don't think about an individual. They just think about you as a whole. And they shoot you and kill you as a whole. So this here is a hate that hate produced. Not only here in Chicago, but all across the nation with law enforcement. Sad, but true. That's not even up for debate. And it's sad that police officers are not held accountable for their criminal activity, their criminal murdering that they've gotten away with. Sad, but true. And this is the reality in which black people live in all across America. And I'm sure in the Caribbean as well, because what takes place here is where any heavy black population of black people are located at. It happens. And I'm not pulling this out of the air. No, you can read any newspaper, any newspaper, any newspaper that's major. Boston Globe, Chicago Sun-Times, Chicago Tribune, New York Post, New York Times, Washington Post, Dallas Daily News, Detroit, LA Times. You see, it's all over. It's no secret of what's going on. And this is the reality of it. This is the reality of it. Sad, but true. And speaking of Chicago, with the death of Ella France, you have R. Kelly. R. Kelly is in trial. Now, for all of you R. Kelly fans that's out there, I used to be an R. Kelly fan too, until I knew what he was doing. Until I knew what he was doing. How can you play his music when you know what he was doing? Now, according to the reports, Allegedly, he has urinated on young women. He has married underage women. That has taken place in many societies. But the urinating of women, now getting to another part, which is more serious, him having sex with little boys, huh? Sexual contacts with little boys, not to mention spreading herpes to the victims. Yeah, spreading herpes to the victims. This reminds me of Malachi York, you know, the Nuwapian king. Granted, he had a great mind. He was deceitful along the way, and sometimes ego su- succeeds or overpower one's higher self. Whereas you think of the ego as a higher self, the ego can also be a lower self. You see? And that ego, which he had, which was his lower self, overruled his higher self. And then he gave his victims herpes. You're not getting out of that. They threw the book at him. What do you think is going to happen to R. Kelly? Who really cares about this guy? Huh? Who really cares about R. Kelly when he did what he did? Not to mention the fact that he didn't give anything back to the community. What did he give you? He gave you some love songs. He entertained your mind into love songs. Never gave you anything of substance. R. Kelly, yeah, he made some fantastic stepping hits. And if you're not familiar with stepping, that is a Chicago style dance. Yeah, that's where stepping comes from. Chicago. That's where stepping comes from. Among other things. Among other things. However, I don't feel sorry for the guy. I don't feel sorry for R. Kelly. Hell, I even had an interview years ago with Kerry Kelly, who was R. Kelly's brother, and he mentioned to me off the record how Robert Kelly wanted to pay him $1 million to take a case that he was having. Yes, he could have possibly endured the time, but no, he didn't want to do that. And if you're out there watching Kerry Kelly, you know that I'm telling the truth. And anybody out there that knows Kerry Kelly on the south side of Chicago, you know that that's true. And how did I end up meeting Kerry Kelly? Hell, I was working at a school, Academy of Communications of Community of Community Technologies on the west side of Chicago on Kilbourne and Washington. Yeah. And I ran into the security guard by the name of Mark. Mark just happened to be into music at that time. I too was into music, into videos, into TV, entertainment. And he introduced me to Kerry Kelly. And I got that information. So no, you cannot say that I don't know what I'm talking about because it was me who conducted the interview. I conducted that interview. So I know exactly what I'm talking about. Do I feel sorry for R. Kelly? No. No, I don't. I haven't played any of his songs since he allegedly was supposed to have done that. And for all of those on the south side, who was out there at the hoop spot on South Shore Drive, you all know what I'm talking about, right? Can you say that I'm lying? The answer to that is no. The answer to that is no. And as I stated before, with the case of Malachi York, when he and the victims both proved positive for herpes after he gave them to him, Well, what do you think R. Kelly's chances is? They threw the book at Malachi York. In fact, they threw him under the prison. What do you think is going to happen to R. Kelly? I don't feel sorry for him at all. At all. I don't feel sorry for R. Kelly. Speaking of another major city here in North America, New York, Governor Cuomo. What did he do? He resigned. Why? For sexual harassment. Uh-huh. He's going to say that he didn't know that what he was doing was wrong. Really? Are you really saying that after the fact that you admitted that you were wrong in doing what you were doing? Huh? You know that's wrong. Why don't you tell those guys on Rikers Island that they didn't know what they were doing when they did what they did? You are a governor of a state, right? You are supposed to be in a leadership position. And yes, I understand that you are a human being, but yet at the same time, you cause all of this sexual harassment among women. And what is it? 11 women that has come forward with this information? Really? Cuomo, who mandated, who mandated vaccinations for all indoor activities in New York? Cuomo, New York, and had all of these other laws under the executive order of gun violence and mandated vaccines. Does that still take place since he's resigning because he was wrong? Does that still take place, New Yorkers? Does that still, you know, reside in your books as being something acknowledged by Governor Cuomo, who's been charged with sexual harassment, sexual misconduct? Huh? What do you think should happen to Governor Cuomo? Will he go to jail? But he's resigned. What really made him look bad was that he, you know, kept saying that he didn't know. How could you not know that you was sexually harassing these women? Not one, not two, not three, but 11. It was just best for you to resign and say nothing. And you did say something that was right. It was best for the government and political party of New York to, for you to just resign. Instead, you lied. Or you didn't lie, but you tried to cover yourself. And that's probably a defense strategy in your court proceedings that's coming up. New York. And speaking of New York, Jim Jones. Jim Jones, the rat. Jim Jones is a rat, you all. Any Dipset fans out there, I am a Dipset fan. And I tell you, Jim Jones is a rat. Yeah, he got caught on a wiretap telling Murder Mel to do what? To knock off the little young Mexican kid. Teriyaki. Yeah, the teriyaki kid. So all of you fans out there, Jim Jones is a rat while he raps about killing rats, raps about what he would do to rats, sell drugs. Yet and still, ironically, he's a rat. So what should happen to Jim Jones? Who's coming for Jim Jones, seeing that he's a rat? Oh, I'm sorry. He's working for the feds. Just like all of you young boys who listen to Jim Jones and Dipset and carry out the lyrical trigger that they're pulling in your brain that tells you to cut your brother's TV off. For what? For street rap? For street rap? Seriously? Jim Jones, Dipset, Jay-Z are responsible for a whole generation of young black men being destroyed. Yet they are not being held accountable. I'm going to say that again. Jay-Z and Dipset and many others are responsible for the death of a whole generation of young black men. Sent them into self-destruction mode. And it wasn't until Dipset was signed by Jay-Z at Def Jam that gave them the authorization to make music like that. Mind you, Jay himself made it popular for drug selling music to be glorified. But then he brings in Dipset, Jim Jones, okay, Cameron, Freaky Zeke, another snitch, another rat, another rat. Just do your research. Even NBA Youngboy right now is dealing with a rat. But these are the entertainers that you admire. You admire that. Why? I'm not going to say you're stupid. You do your own math on that. They're responsible for the death of a whole generation and are not even held responsible because black people continuously to feed into their machine of self-destruction. Yeah, they do that. We do that. Now, mind you, I myself, I'm a Dipset fan, but I have to retire Dipset right now, especially knowing that Jim Jones is a rat. He works for the feds, and he has caused you, young black man, to work for the feds because you kill and commit genocide against your brother and your sister. You sell drugs and you cut off the TVs of young black men and young black women for no just cause. Over gym shoes, over a spot, meaning corner, or that you don't even own, because when the devil shows up, according to certain people's schools of thought, when the devil shows up, what do? Put your hands up. You're all against the car, you're all against the wall, being searched by someone who doesn't like you, yet and still you consider yourself a gangster. Because you like committing genocide by listening to Dipset. I have to retire them. But it has gotten to the point where these young artists have actually made their lyrics a reality. And they are getting rich from destroying you, causing death and destruction. Did anyone see the Dipset versus the Locks? Did anyone see that? A bunch of grown men calling each other nigger, talking about how much drugs they sell and what they will do to you in the street. Needless to say, Locks had lyrically destroyed Dipset. Jadakiss was a monster. And it was 2 hours worth of cooning. 2 hours worth of cooning. And you had all of these people in the audience who paid to be entertained by cooning. And they what? They had to get the demonstration in order to attend the event, because during the week that Cuomo mandated that indoor activity is mandated, a couple of days after or that weekend, during that week, the event of Dipset versus the Locks took place. Took place. But you had to have had the demonstration. It said that you have 40, 45-year-old men on stage showing all of their $1 million worth of jewelry that ignorant people have paid for, have supported them lyrically for destruction. And wow, they don't even see that. I see that. But like I said, I have to retire Dipset, even though I'm a fan. And to be honest, Cameron is really not that nice. No. J.R. Ryder was nice. Santana is nice. Cameron is garbage. I'm just saying. Everybody have their own opinion, so that's my spectrum on Cameron. Needless to say, the Locks slayed them. Jadakiss was a monster. It's sad to see the physical aggressiveness that also took place during the event. You have 40 and 45-year-old men putting their feet, meaning kicking another black man, on stage for an event for who? Black people. Do you see any white concerts, white held events, where you actually see white people kicking white people like aggressively on stage? Do you see that? Do you see that with Mexicans? Do you see that with Chinese? Not to mention the fact that they had their pants sagging. What an image. You all have destroyed a generation of young black men. You've gotten rich and don't even care. Sad. But those people, like I said, who attended that demonstration, they had to get the demonstration, okay? They had to get the demonstration, and the government is really serious about this demonstration. They're really serious about the demonstration. In fact, if you're planning to go see Maroon 5, right, you're going to have that demonstration, okay? Before you can even get inside, you're going to have proof of that demonstration or a negative demonstration. Yeah, this is how it's going down. This is how we are being not only socially engineered, but cyborgly engineered. Right now, this pandemic is making us detached from human compassion. Think about it. You can cough on a person right now and get shot. You can get shot and killed for not wearing a mask. This pandemic has handcuffed humanity. You have schools like Georgia who have released fifth graders, a whole section of fifth graders, a whole floor of them, because of the demonstration outbreak. In Mississippi, they had reached a record limit with 4,400 and some change students with the demonstration since they had started school. Hmm? Some states, like California, have actually mandated school staff, teachers to have the demonstration. In order to come back to work, you have people in the medical field who are walking off their jobs because their job is requiring them to have the demonstration. So much for being a free country. As in the words of one who helps facilitate the demonstration, people think they have a choice. Now, if you don't understand what I'm saying, I highly recommend that you go down on this channel, MOPOWERZ, and view the video entitled Think for Yourself. But not only think for yourself, there's another video entitled MOPOWERZ at the Georgia Guidestones. Right now, if you are raising your level of consciousness, you too, you know, may be in rebellion to the demonstration. For those who haven't raised their level of consciousness, well, I don't know what to say for you. The only thing that I can tell you is that I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid. And it is my hopes that you make the right decision on if you want to drink the Kool-Aid or not. It's been proven. It's been proven, and they have made it a law right now to make war against those that don't have the demonstration. However, those who have gotten the demonstration, they're still susceptible. You know what I'm saying. That word, I got a tongue twist right now. They still can give you the demonstration after they done got the demonstration. Both demonstrations. Hell no. Mo is not taking the demonstration. Mo is not taking the demonstration. If you're out there, say something, you all. Say something out there in YouTube land. It's real serious out here, you all. People are seeing flowers right now because of the demonstration. I'm just saying, you know, prepare yourself. Prepare yourself. Why prepare yourself? Something big is about to happen. Something big is about to happen. You have Houston hospitals who have ready-made tent emergency rooms for people catching the demonstration. It's serious out here. It is real. You have schools who are doing what? Going back to remote school. Governors mandating that, they staff have that demonstration. And according to the California governor, she said that she is not going to play Russian roulette with the lives of people. Oh, this demonstration is real. And there's a lot that you may not be able to do without the demonstration. But I myself, I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid. In fact, I'm just going to keep me some Lysol around. Lysol is very important at this time. Keep some Lysol. That which goes in your toilet and your bathtub, and just, for deodorizing or for removing the demonstration. I mean, it's right there. Do your own research on that, though. But I highly suggest that you prepare yourself. Prepare yourself for what? Rainwater. You are able legally to get you some rainwater or buy you some water and stock up on your food. Grow yourself a garden. It is legal to grow yourself a garden. And why do I say that? Because it has been reported or rumors. And I don't I don't want to get off into the rumors. Or you have big YouTubers who say that farmers are being paid to cut their crops or destroy their crops. And I myself have spoke to some farmers in Iowa, in Wisconsin. They haven't received anything from the government telling them to destroy their crops. But I tell you, something serious is about to happen. You can be prepared or not prepared. For those who are not prepared, it is to your own demise. Start growing you a garden. It's legal. Yes, some states have some restrictions that you may have to work yourself through, but other states, no, it's legal. In fact, they encourage you. You have to go and find out if your state have restrictions or not. But for the most part, most states don't have restrictions, just like most states don't have restrictions on you collecting rainwater. They don't. So it's legal. Gasoline, store you some gasoline if you're able to do that, if you're able to facilitate the matter. Something big is about to happen. I can't say what's about to happen, but everybody who is of a raised level of consciousness, they know something big is about to happen. Who we got here? Thanks, family. I appreciate that. Something big is about to happen. I just hope that you are prepared. If you're not, it's going to be a cold winter. And speaking of cold winter, has anybody read that book by Sister Soldier? Yeah, Coldest Winter Ever by Sister Soldier. If you haven't read that book, you should read that book. It's very enlightening. Gives you a different spectrum on things. Just like I'm reading the book, The ISIS Papers. And that book is by Dr. Francis Cress Wilson. And that information I will be bringing to you on my next live. In fact, about it, on every book that I read, I will be giving a live on that book. Because some people don't know what to read. Some people are just directed to read and to listen and follow instructions. But when you think outside the box, when you begin to use some form of intelligence, you too will think outside the box. But needless to say, you all, it has been a ball here on this live. Leave your comments in the comment section. It's your brother, the MOPOWERZ, where knowledge is power. It is your third eye that makes you shine like jewelry. And like I said, if you have not pressed that subscribe button, press that button now. And view the videos entitled MOPOWERZ at the Georgia Guidestones and the video entitled Think for Yourself. That is very pertinent for your storage bin. Okay? Put it in your Rolodex. Remember, it's your third eye that makes you shine like jewelry. Peace out, you all.